Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. There's something ingrained in humans that causes us to take dangerous risks and try things that might change the world. Over the course of civilization, thousands upon thousands of inventions succeeded beyond their creators' wildest dreams, but some were epic fails. From the flying tailor to the person who revolutionized the press, here are 10 innovators killed by their own inventions. Number 10. The Flying Tailor. One of the first dramas associated with the Eiffel Tower is the misadventure experienced by Franz Reichelt, a French tailor. This brave man, an inventor in his time, had made a parachute suit which he wanted to prove effective. He chose the Eiffel Tower as a test site. Before he could take off, he had to contact the prefecture of Paris, who agreed to the condition that the jump will be done with a mannequin, as he had not received the authorization to jump himself. However, on February 4, 1912, known as the Chosen Day, at 8 a.m., Franz Reichelt appeared on the first floor of the Eiffel Tower without any mannequin. He was surrounded by a few police officers whose task was not to hinder the experience. No one took the initiative to prevent the jump, and the whole thing lasted for less than a minute. 40 seconds of hesitation for our man who was probably aware of the danger, and a few more seconds for the fall that did not allow the costume to unfold normally. The man did not really fly, he fell heavily, causing a ground impact of 15 to 20 centimeters and died instantly. He thought he was on the right track, but sadly, he did not take everything into account as the distance from the top to the floor.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Number 9. The Flying King. To fly was always more than just a technical challenge. The idea of conquering the skies is a dream that has fascinated would-be pilots since around 2300 BC. Before 1881, attempts to develop airplanes and gliders were occasional and irregular. Otto Lilienthal changed all that. He was able to make sustained and replicable flights for the first time in history. Photographs of Lilienthal in flight were famous worldwide. Before Lilienthal, building a heavier-than-air craft was widely considered to be the province of dreamers and fools. Afterward, it seemed possible to fly. Lilienthal developed 18 different models of his gliders over a span of 5 years and broke many laws of physics. It is perhaps ironic that he broke those laws and crashed to his death just northeast of Berlin. He was just 48 years old, but even though he died, he paved the way for the future of aviation, and now there are always people flying in the air because of him. Number 8. Creator of PULLEYS. The death of this inventor is a very surprising one. Thomas Midgley was an American chemist well known for his two most popular inventions, tetraethyl lead and dichlorodifluoromethane. Don't try to pronounce it, you'll just end up failing. In 1930, Midgley discovered odor-free, non-toxic, and non-flammable refrigerant gas that could be used in residential refrigerators and air conditioners called dichlorodifluoromethane, which was soon commercially produced as Freon 12 by Kinetic Chemicals Inc. Though applauded during his time, later he was castigated for the same inventions. He is known as the person who had unfavorably impacted the atmosphere more than any other single organism in Earth's history, and is also the one human who is responsible for more deaths than any other in history. He was eventually affected by polio and lead poisoning and was left confined to bed. He needed extensive assistance even to raise from the bed. This encouraged Thomas to formulate an elaborate system of pulleys and ropes. At the age of 55, he succumbed to death after being strangled by one of his pulleys. Ironically, both of his inventions were the reasons behind his death. Number 7. The Barrel Man. This is the craziest invention you'll ever come across. Karel Susek is probably best known as the 8th person to go over Niagara Falls in 1984 in a homemade barrel. The professional stuntman developed a shock-absorbent barrel in which he would go over Niagara Falls. He did so successfully, but when performing a similar stunt in the Astrodome, there were some human errors that complicated things. The barrel was released too early, and Susek rolled off the Houston Astrodome in a self-designed barrel in front of an audience of 35,000. A water tank below the Astrodome was supposed to soften Susek's fall, however the barrel clipped the edge of the tank. Susek's skull was fractured and his chest and abdomen were crushed. Number 6. The rocket scientist. Max Valier, an actual rocket scientist, was interested in building an on-ground rocket, and he hoped to advance towards spaceflight. In 1920s Germany, Valier was a member of the German Rocketeering Society, and his main contribution during that phase was the invention of a liquid-filled rocket that could speed up automobiles. In 1927, he created the Spaceflight Society, and in 1928, he created rocket cars that accelerated up to 145 miles per hour. And if that wasn't enough, in 1929, he created a rocket-powered sled that hit 250 miles per hour. After his vehicular successes, he started to experiment with rockets using liquid propellant, hoping to soon experiment with rocket-powered aircraft. A rocket accidentally exploded, killing Valier in 1930. What a tragic ending it must have been. Number 5. Motorcycle Man. Sylvester Roper, a machinist and inventor in Massachusetts, USA, built a steam velocipede and demonstrated it at fairs and circuses. It's believed to be the oldest existing American motorcycle. Just look at this beauty. With its forged iron frame and wooden wheels, it resembles a velocipede, a popular bicycle of the late 1860s. Twisting the handlebar controlled the throttle and brakes. Roper built several other steam vehicles, including another motorcycle in 1895. But he died just before the motor vehicle manufacturing industry got underway. Mr. Roper's death was dramatic. After making a phenomenal mile with a steam bicycle of his invention, he was troubled with heart disease and actually died while riding. He was exhibiting his engine applied to a modern safety bicycle. He demonstrated its utility, but did not live to receive the congratulations on his achievement, as he had a heart attack while he was on the bike. Number 4. The Mad Scientist. Eternal youth has perplexed humans for centuries now, and this was one of them. The Mad Scientist was a Russian physician, writer, politician, and inventor of sorts. He was a major player in the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution and ended up in jail. He talked his way out of death row and back into medicine, where he became obsessed with blood. Bogdanov founded the Institute for Hematology and was convinced that blood transfusion was the ticket to the fountain of youth. To back up his beliefs, he used himself as a crash test dummy and transfused blood from a patient suffering malaria and tuberculosis into his own system. He died 2 days later, on April 7, 1928, but the patient slowly got better. It seems that the blood types were incompatible, something little known in the day. Number 3. The Noble Queen. Marie Curie was a Polish chemist and physicist who pioneered research into radioactivity and won the Nobel Prize, not just once, but twice. She is credited with the discovery of radium and polonium and for numerous advances in radioactivity, a word which she actually invented. Her work led to the development of X-rays. For her work, she was awarded the Nobel Prize in physics and chemistry. That made her the first woman to win the Nobel Prize and the only woman to have been awarded the Nobel Prize twice. She also remains the only person to win a Nobel Prize in 2 different sciences. There's a lot of men who have to catch up to her, it seems. Her research exposed her to a lot of radiation, though, and she died of leukemia in 1934. And now with that, it's time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in a future video. Number 2. The Flying Hero. Henry Smolinski held a degree in aeronautical engineering from the Northrop Institute of Technology. Old Hank got the idea that a flying car was necessary. He wanted to create a commercially viable flying car, so he quit his job at Northrop and started Advanced Vehicle Engineers. In 1973, the company built 2 prototype vehicles, called AVE Mizars, by fusing the rear end of a Cessna Skymaster airplane, which could be attached and detached from the car, with a Ford Pinto. The Chimera vehicles were due to go into production in 1974, but on September 11, 1973, Smolinski and his friend and business partner Harold Blake were killed when the wing strut detached from the vehicle during a test flight. Bad welds were responsible for the crash. Number 1. The Press Revolutionary. You probably know that the printing press was first built in the 15th century, and if you didn't, maybe it's time to read a book or two. America-based William Bullock improvised Richard March Hoe's rotary printing press in 1863, which was revolutionary. Due to the increased speed and efficiency, this changed the printing industry due to its great speed and efficiency. He also had designed and invented various devices such as a cotton and hay press, a seed planter, a lathe cutting machine, and a grain drill. Bullock's press allowed for automatic continuous large rolls of paper, eliminating the back-breaking hand-feeding system of earlier presses. The press could print up to 12,000 sheets an hour, which later improved to 30,000 sheets an hour. All went well until a deadly mishap. On April 2, 1867, while adjusting new presses that were being installed for the Philadelphia Public Ledger newspaper, his right leg was crushed accidentally in the machine when trying to kick on a pulley. After a few days, he developed gangrene. On April 12, 1867, Bullock died during an operation to amputate his leg. Which one of these inventions was your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.